Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this podcast. You can listen whenever you're available, and you can listen more than once if you like. Any topic covered here today, if that creates additional questions or concerns, please give me a call or an email. We want to make sure that you have all the information and everything that you need to make a decision for Medicare 2021. Before we get to that topic, however, I would like to say that I know that you agree with me when I say 2020 has been quite the challenge, and I sincerely hope that this finds you and your families doing well. Normally, I don't mention benefits on your policies just because the policies can vary. However, we've got an important subject matter here that we really do want to cover. There's a lot of people feeling alone and isolated. And if this is you and you're feeling a lot of despair, I just want to let you know that you have help available. The easiest way to take a look at what kind of help is available on your specific policy is to go to your membership portal. It's got a lot of great information out there. You'll see your claims activities and the extra benefit programs that you have on your policy and your policy features. But specifically, I want to talk about mental health benefits. We're living in stressful times. It's not unusual for anyone to have the same feelings that you're feeling currently. And there's confidential, good help available to you. So I want you to reach out to someone if you're feeling that stress of the day, and know that there are benefits on your health insurance policy, your Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage plan or the cost plan. If you can't find what you're looking for, you certainly can reach out to me, but because of privacy issues, I'm not going to be able to help you too much. So you can go to customer service, and that number is on the back of your ID card, and they will help you specific to your policy, and that's probably the best course. If you don't find what you need there, please do give me a call. But out on that website, you'll also find other useful information. The fitness programs have been accessed by a lot of people because they haven't been able to go to their gyms. And there's online videos and programs out there that you just can't even imagine until you go out and look. And the winter months are coming upon us, so that's going to be very, very useful information. Also, I get a lot of questions about eyeglasses and hearing aids. That information is out there for you as well. And we're utilizing a lot of remote doctor visits. It tells you how to do that depending on which policy you have, if it's doctors on demand or virtual. It's all out there, and it will tell you what you need to do to access those resources. So dig around and see what you can find. I know you're not going anywhere, so you have time to take a look. Anyway, next topic, we're going to talk a little bit about Medicare scams. This is also a topic I don't normally talk a lot about, but they are in force and out there everywhere. These folks have additional time on their hands, as you do too, and they're using it for not a good reason. There's a lot of phone calls. There's mail going out that looks like Social Security and Medicare mailings. There's people trying to say that they're calling from your insurance carrier. Medicare and Social Security do not call you. They just probably won't call you. If they do, they have all the information on you that they possibly need. You don't need to give them any information if they are in fact calling you. So don't become concerned and think that you have to answer these questions. You don't. You can just hang up. If you're not sure if that was a legitimate call, call them back. Call the 800 number at Social Security or Medicare. If you don't know where to call, give me a call and I will help you through that process. If it was a legitimate call, outbound call from one of those agencies, they will have a record that a phone call needed to be made to you. So whoever you talk to in the service departments when you call in, they will be able to tell whether or not someone was legitimately calling you. I would say it's probably best to assume it's not a legitimate call. Your mail, I've seen several mail pieces that look unbelievably real. So watch what you respond to in the mail. They look like they come from Social Security and or Medicare, and I can tell you I haven't seen one that's been legitimate yet. And for heaven's sakes, please do not send anybody any money. It's just not a good idea. If the carrier you have a policy with calls you because your automatic payment didn't go through, there are times that things do get a little messed up. You can certainly check that via your bank and or call customer service at the carrier again, or give me a call. That is something that I can check on for you. So just be very leery of scams. And finally, I'm sure you've heard on the news, the state of Minnesota is sending out state employees to knock on your door and ask you about COVID. They have an identifier, a badge. Ask for a badge if you don't clearly see it. If you're not sure, just shut the door. You don't have to participate. So there you go. That is what we want to talk about at first, but now we want to get on to your annual enrollment period. This is the time of year that you can make changes to your prescription drug plan and or your policy. The enrollment period runs from October 15th through December 7th, and all of the changes will go effective January 1st. 2020, we had quite a lot of changes. There were canceled plans and carrier changes and premium and benefit changes, law changes. There were a lot of things going on. I'm going to revisit a few of those items. So first of all, we want to talk about your prescription drug renewal. This is the time of year that I can go in and check and see if a better plan would better suit the drugs that you're taking, and maybe a better premium and or price point. So I'm happy to do that. If you want me to research your 2021 choices, I will need an updated prescription drug list from you. And I know I've got last year's list, and please, I'm happy to use whatever information I have, but it's really cumbersome for me to pull every file. So the easiest thing for you to do is to go on the website. You're already there. You're listening to the podcast. It's on the right-hand margin. You'll see RX list and you'll see scope, and you want to print both of those forms out, and you can email them to me, you can fax them to me, or you can send them to me via regular mail. It doesn't matter. But what is most important is that you get me that information if you want me to check. And yes, I do want to know your home zip code just so I don't have to look it up. And also the pharmacy you're using, because sometimes you change pharmacies and you wouldn't have reason to tell me that you did that during the year. So this is part of the reason why I don't want to use your previous list. It just might not be accurate. The scope form that is out there is basically giving me permission to talk to you about this information. So that's a Medicare form. It's required. So if you would please fill that form out also, and so that I have that permission and I don't have an issue. And then again, email it, fax it to me, put it in the mail. I will acknowledge your emails within 24 hours. If I get a mailing from you, I'll acknowledge that I received it. And then we'll do the work and we'll get back to you whether or not we need to make a change. So I'm hoping that that's as easy as possible. If you have a cost plan and you live in one of the 21 counties in Minnesota where you're allowed to keep that plan, that would mean you'd have a Blue Cross Blue Shield Platinum Blue, a Health Partners Freedom Plan, or a Medica Prime solution. And as you know from our situation at the beginning of 2020, Medicare disallowed those plans from being offered in only 21 counties in Minnesota. You can keep those plans in 2021. That does not mean that they won't have a premium change or a benefit change. In fact, a couple of them have, and they're quite nice. So you want to look at your plan information when it's mailed to you from the carrier and note what the changes are on your policy. If you want me to do some checking for you, you have questions, please let me know. But what I want to let you know is that those plans, you can keep them in 2021. There was a law change in January 1 of 2020 that was part of your Part B deductibles if you had a Medigap policy, Medicare supplement policy. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, this doesn't apply to you. But in 2020, the deductible for your Part B services was $198, and that's restated every year by Medicare. MACRA is the name of the law. It's going forward. And so if you have a Part A date of 1/1 of 2020 or later, this law applies to you. If it doesn't apply to you. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, it doesn't apply to you. But what that law says is you will pay the first $198 in 2020 for Part B services. That would be like office visits and x-rays, scans, physical therapy, those sorts of services. Your Part A benefit covers your hospitalization, and that is not affected, but it is in fact the Part A date that determines whether or not MACRA applies. If you have any questions about that, just give me a quick call or an email and we'll go over it specific to your situation. Another quick reminder about Medicare is Medicare covers the flu, pneumonia, and hepatitis B shots. Those are the immunizations that are covered by Medicare. And I always tell everybody, if you can get a shot at Walgreens, CVS, Costco, Cub, Coburn's, Thrifty White, there's a lot of places to get a shot at. Do it there because they can't charge you the doctor's fees that an office visit and clinic would be able to charge you. So Medicare does not cover physician's fees for those 3 immunizations. So you want to make sure that you don't get caught with a surprise billing on that regard. Also in 2020, Medicare.gov changed, and you might remember me talking about this because if you had a Medicare.gov account, they wanted you to go out there and update it. And if you did that, what happens is that would have drawn into your Medicare.gov account all of your medical and prescription drug claims. If you don't mind that information is sitting on the government site, then feel free to go in there and update and take a look. However, a lot of people had issue with that, so I like to remind folks that going out to Medicare.gov, registering and or logging in will cause this to happen. And if you don't want that to be the case, then I would stay away from there. I do use Medicare.gov, but I use a fictitious sign-in. I enter all the information about your drug and your pharmacy and all of that, but it's not linked to you by any way other than your zip code. So there's no personal information, and once I log off of there, the information is lost. It's not retained. So in a quick review, I wanna say, your mental health matters. If you are feeling alone and full of despair, you need to seek help. There's help available to you. Beware of the scams. Do not send anybody any money. All of this information about your policy is out on the membership portal. There's that information and more. It's got out there how to sign up for an online doctor's appointment. There's a lot of information out there that you can access and use probably. Call customer service or myself if you need help, and I'd be happy to help you set that up. If you want me to check your Part D plan for 2021, when you close this podcast out, and the right margin of the page for the Medicare page on my website will be the RX list and the scope form. Print those 2 forms out, fill them out, and send them to me any way you like. do not take a picture on your phone and send it that way. It does not format correctly, and I can't get those to print. So you'll need to scan it and email it, fax it, and if you can't scale or fax, then go ahead and send it to me regular mail. Macro, the law might apply to you. If you're not sure, call me, we'll figure it out. And just wanted to let you know my website has all of my current contact information, as does the bottom of my email, every email that I sent you. And so none of that has changed from last year, but you might want to make sure that you have the correct contact information in your files as well. If you live outside of Minnesota and you need help, certainly happy to do that. I have a lot of clients that don't live in Minnesota anymore. If you get your policy notice and you have some questions, please let me know. You're probably in the time frame of all of the mailings. You might be the last folks to receive a mailing from the carrier. So if you want to know before that, just contact me. That's fine. If you're thinking about moving outside of Minnesota in the next year, you should give me a call and let me help talk you through that option and what you should and shouldn't do and the time frames to do it. I can help you with that transition, and please call me before you move. I actually got an email this morning to someone who said that they were gone. So it's easier for me to help you if we do it before you move. All changes need to be made between October 15th and December 7th for a January 1 effective date. Let's make changes as soon as possible so that you have your ID cards and everything set and ready to go for January 1. If we need to make a change, I can accommodate an online visit or an in-office COVID responsible visit. A lot of folks have been coming in and it's been fine to do that. If we need to use the mail, just remember mail is slow, especially now with all of the election and all the mailing that's going on. So we want to handle that as soon as possible. If you send me an email, I'll respond within 24 hours. And if you don't get a response, please contact me. Again, just send it again. There's a lot of things that can go wrong when I'm getting a lot of emails. And I just like to say we're all in this together. I want to be a resource and a help to you. And then also in closing to note that I just so appreciate you and your business. Thank you so very much. I'm really honored that you've placed your confidence in me and appreciate you every day. I can't say enough to those of you who have referred family and friends to me. It means so much to me. Medicare rules say that I can't talk to them first, so if you do refer someone to me, please have them reach out to me, and we will be able to start our conversation. You have all of my website information, my email, my calling. You can contact me any of those ways, and please do if you have a question or concern, not only now but throughout the year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. I sincerely wish you and your families a healthy and safe 2021.